I woke up to the thumping of bass drums vibrating straight through my mattress at 6 in the morning. I thought I was dreaming, or maybe back in some war zone checkpoint, until I rolled over and looked out the window. My 40-acre cattle ranch, land my grandfather cleared with his own hands in 1962, had been transformed overnight into goddamn Coachella. There were tents as far as I could see, RVs parked across my cattle gates, a full-size DJ stage sitting exactly where Thunder, my prized Black Angus bull, liked to take his morning nap, and a perfect grid of portable toilets stretching across pasture my family had worked for 3 generations. 1,000 strangers were sipping lattes, doing yoga, and helping themselves to my well water like this was some hippie commune and not private property in Millfield County, Texas. And there, standing in the middle of my driveway with a bullhorn and a clipboard like she was Patton commanding the Third Army, was Karen Rutherford, HOA president, spray-tanned orange, bleached teeth shining, designer heels sinking into the gravel she was now claiming as community space. She was directing parking with the smug confidence of a woman who had never in her life been charged by 1,800 pounds of pissed-off breeding bull. My bulls don't negotiate with Karens. My name is Hank Morrison, 52 years old, retired marine mechanic, 20 years fixing Humvees and sand that could melt boot soles. After the divorce and the VA pills that never quite quieted the noise in my head, this ranch was the only thing that kept me sane. Every morning I drink coffee on the same wraparound porch my grandfather built, boots up on the rail he split by hand, listening to meadowlarks while my Black Angus low in the mist. The smell of sage, fresh hay, warm cattle, and honest manure, that's my church. Raising heritage beef and selling it at the farmer's market is the first work I've ever done that grows life instead of ending it. Then the developers showed up. Rolling hills suddenly looked like dollar signs to people who measure grass with rulers and think the word rural is a personality flaw. That's when Karen Rutherford decided my grandfather's ranch was standing in the way of her McMansion empire. She started small. Showed up in my driveway one Tuesday in her white Escalade, heels clicking like gunfire, clipboard already drawn. "Mr. Morrison, we need to discuss your unsightly fence situation and how it affects our property values." She wrinkled her nose at the smell of cattle, like I'd personally offended her. Told me the sight of livestock from her premium view homes was quite rural. The way she said rural made it sound like a hate crime. I told her these cattle were grazing here before her fake tan was even invented. She smiled that crocodile smile and said, "Times change, Mr. Morrison. Remove the roadside fencing by Friday or we'll fine you $50 a day, escalating to $500. I reminded her, calmly, that my agricultural exemption predates her subdivision by 6 decades, and her HOA has exactly 0 authority over my land. She slapped a folder against her clipboard like a judge's gavel. "I've researched every angle. Your grandfather's little hobby farm doesn't belong in our modern community anymore." Little hobby farm. 3 generations of Morrison blood and sweat dismissed like a weekend Etsy project. She didn't stop there. 3 days later, she filed a formal nuisance complaint with the county, complete with telephoto shots of bull manure, a petition signed by 12 Wine Mom warriors, and a detailed report about excessive flies. She scheduled the inspection for the hottest week in July, when the air itself smells like baking cow patties. She thought she had the system rigged. What she didn't know was that the county inspector, Jake Winters, was my brother from 3rd Marine Logistics Group. Same desert, same sand, same brotherhood forged in diesel and blood. Jake walked my fence line in combat boots, grinning like Christmas. "Heard some real estate Barbie is trying to shut you down, you stubborn jarhead." He inspected by the book, passed me with flying colors, then pulled me aside. "She's dating County Commissioner Williams. They're rezoning the whole area for condos. Your ranch is worth millions if they can force you out. Watch your 6, brother." That's when the war went from annoying to existential. Karen tried everything. Fake surveys. Midnight visits from her spineless husband Brad with wire cutters. Anonymous calls to the sheriff about dangerous livestock. She even found an old tax lien loophole and tried to pay 3 years of back taxes so she could foreclose when I couldn't repay her with 20% interest. Legal loan sharking in Lululemon. I cashed in my entire military retirement to pay those taxes in full, walked into the courthouse, and slammed the cash on the counter loud enough for the gossips to hear. Tell Karen Rutherford the Morrison Ranch will never be for sale. But the knockout punch was coming from a direction she never saw. While she was busy digging through county records trying to find my weaknesses, she missed one tiny detail in a 1960s survey. Her precious HOA entrance monument, the one with the faux stone waterfalls and the tacky brass lettering, was built 2 acres onto my land. My land. And she'd been collecting HOA fees on it for 2 years. That wasn't just trespass. That was felony fraud. Then she made her final mistake. She announced the Millfield Ranch Estates Community Safety Festival, a 1,000-person educational family fun day to teach everyone how to coexist with agricultural operations. Translation: she was throwing an illegal music festival on my private property without my permission, using a forged survey map that showed my front pasture as community common area. She got permits, insurance, food trucks, bounce houses, the whole circus, all based on documents that were about to send her to federal prison. I try to stop it. Emergency injunctions, calls to the state AG commissioner, everything. The judge, Karen's sorority sister, denied me with a smile. So I did what any sane Marine would do when the enemy masses 1,000 civilians on your land as human shields. I waited. Saturday morning, the invasion began at dawn. Diesel trucks, porta-potties, generators, speakers the size of refrigerators aimed straight at my bedroom window. Karen strutted around in a safety vest and bullhorn like a dictator at a rally. By 9 o'clock, the place was crawling with families, kids, Instagram influencers, all sipping mimosas on land my grandfather died defending. Karen saved the best for last. At 3 p.m., drunk on power and media attention, she grabbed her bullhorn and announced the grand finale. Come everyone, let's go meet those dangerous bulls up close and prove once and for all they're perfectly harmless. She marched 200 trusting parents and children straight toward Thunder's back pasture. I stood at the gate with a cattle prod I never needed, watching Thunder's ears flick back, his head lower, the classic warning signs any rancher knows by heart. Karen opened the gate herself, waving people in like she was opening Disneyland. See, they're just big sweeties. Thunder pawed the ground once, twice. Then 1,800 pounds of territorial black Angus decided he was done with uninvited guests. The sound he made when he charged was the voice of every Morrison who ever worked this land saying, "Get the hell off my property." Karen dropped her bullhorn and ran faster than I thought fake hands could move. Designer heels flying off, safety vest flapping, screaming about vicious animals and lawsuits while parents scooped up kids and sprinted for their lives. Dust clouds rose like a bomb had gone off. Someone's iPhone live stream caught Karen diving headfirst into a porta-potty to escape. Thunder never even touched anyone. He just made his point, snorted once, and went back to grazing like a king who'd reminded the peasants who owns the castle. Within minutes, the videos were viral. HOA Karen gets stampeded by bull after a legal festival trended nationwide. That's when the FBI rolled in. Turns out Maxine Morgan, the best AG attorney in 3 counties, had spent the night in the courthouse basement digging through dusty files. She found the Holy Grail. Karen's HOA charter had expired 2 years ago, and she'd been collecting fees illegally ever since. $47,000 in criminal fraud, plus encrypted emails proving she was paying Commissioner Williams 15% kickbacks on every flipped farm. By sundown, Karen was sitting in her Escalade watching process servers hand her lawsuit papers while federal agents put Williams in cuffs. Her festival equipment was impounded, her fake permits exposed, her entire empire collapsed in front of the cameras she'd invited. 1 week later, the HOA was dissolved by state order. Every homeowner got their illegal fees refunded. Karen's house went up for sale the same day the indictment dropped. Williams took a plea for 18 months in federal prison. I got the 2 disputed acres legally deeded to me and tore down that ugly monument the next morning. Put up a simple wooden sign instead. Morrison Ranch, EST 1962. Thunder, Diesel, and Maverick became local legends. Sales of my organic beef tripled. people driving hours just to buy steak from the bull that ended a Karen. Some nights, I still sit on that same porch, boots on the same rail, coffee getting cold while meadowlarks sing. Only now the quiet feels different. Earned. Belmanol. Karen thought she was hunting a broke veteran who'd roll over for a clipboard and some fines. She learned the hard way why Marines don't lose ground, why 3 generations of Morrison sweat soaks this dirt, and why you never, ever open a gate on a territorial breeding bull unless you're ready to outrun justice with hooves. The sun sets red and gold over land that's mine, finally, legally, undeniably. And somewhere out there, another clipboard tyrant is probably measuring someone's grass right now. Let them come. I've still got bulls.